Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today is Friday, June 9th, 2023. It's 10:52 a.m. Eastern Time. And I just want to look at this very sad story coming out of Egypt about a shark attack on the Red Sea coastal city of Hurghada. I'm not sure if that's a pronunciation, but I guess you can pronounce it Hurghada or Hurghada, depending on how you pronounce that U. It's a very sad story, and let me just say that it is not my intention to sensationalize this story. I am not a marine biologist. I live here on the east coast of Florida. I like to observe nature, and I'm doing a series of videos on my YouTube channel about sharks, and that's why I wanted to comment on this story. Now, before I go any further, I'd like just to give my condolences to the family and the loss of that family member. It's a very sad story, and the purpose in analyzing this video, like I mentioned before, is not to sensationalize the event. I'm not going to show any video of what happened. I know there are videos online, but I'm not going to show any videos because the purpose of me analyzing this video is for education and not to gain, YouTube viewers or sensationalize or, just treat this video in a way that would not be reverent. So my main goal is to analyze the circumstances surrounding this attack and definitely see what we can learn from this attack, because we can always learn from these things. And some of the points that I'll touch in this video, I've already discussed them in my YouTube channel, or I'll be discussing them in the future. But we want to learn from these experiences, see what we can do to perhaps not suffer the same fate as this young man who was unfortunate to die from the shark attack. Now, let me just preface this video by saying that shark attacks are relatively rare. Yes, they do happen, but they're not very common. And as I've mentioned in some of my other videos, sharks are not out to get us. So whenever a shark attack occurs, we always want to analyze the circumstances and figure out exactly what happened so that we can help to avoid a reoccurrence of this situation in the future. Now, I don't know the exact time this attack occurred. I know it happened yesterday, Thursday, June 8th. But as we can see from this report in Yahoo News, we have a report that happened at 8:52 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, we know that Egypt is 7 hours ahead of us. We know that the news is not going to be instantaneous. So obviously, it happened a couple hours before. And so we see this report happening at 8:52 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, according to information on Wikipedia, Hurghada is a city on the Red Sea coast of Egypt. It is right here, as you can see on this map, which means that it's a fishing village, as we can see from the information here. And it gives you an idea of the sort of activity that takes place. But let's take a deeper look into that. Here we can see from the map in Google Earth, there's the city of Hurghada. So right here where you see this light blue, greenish colors, that's relatively shallow water. And then these darker areas are the drop off into the deeper areas where sharks tend to hang out. Of course, they can come into these more shallow areas where you have these docks. Now, being a city on the coast, then we know that from the information that we have here that it's an area that where fishing is done, a lot of water activity. And of course, with fishing activity, then obviously that's going to attract the attention of sharks. Now, as I said, I'm not going to show the video because it is an absolutely horrific attack, and that's not the sort of thing I want to repeat on the channel because it's nothing pleasant to look at such a horrifying event. However, for educational purposes, I've taken a few snapshots, and that's what we're going to analyze. Now, as you can see from this picture, there's not a lot of lighting. We don't see a lot of sunlight. It's like the skies are overcast. So I'm not sure if this happened early in the morning or it's just that the skies were overcast. Like I said, I don't have that information. I have no idea what time this event occurred. But if it did occur early in the morning, as we've mentioned on my channel in the videos I've done, swimming at sunrise is never a good idea, or even at sunset, never a good idea. You always want to swim in waters that are clear that you can actually see what's happening, because if sharks are not sure what's happening, then guess what? They're going to use those ampullae of Lorenzini, which are those sensitive organs on on their snout, and they're going to sense the movement inside the water, and then they're going to come and investigate. And if they can't see you clearly, then they'll probably do a test bite to try and figure out what you are. Now here in the second picture, then we can clearly see the person who was attacked, and his back is turned, and this is definitely not a good situation to be in. And I'm going to do a deep dive into the tiger shark. The authorities did capture the shark after. They did confirm it's a tiger shark. So let's analyze why you never want to turn your back to a shark that's attacking. So as you can see from this screenshot from this video, when tiger sharks are going in to bite, and sharks in general, when they're going in to bite, there's a membrane that they pull down over their eyes, and basically that's to protect their eyes from damage. So that's something to bear in mind. So before I continue, let me just reiterate that I am not a marine biologist. I'm a very avid observer of nature, and I like to film sharks with my drone so I can better understand their behavior and see patterns in their migration habits and their behavior in general close to shore. However, I am not a scientist. I am not a marine biologist. The purpose of analyzing this video is to learn and to see how we can best deal with sharks in the future. So let's dive in. So the tiger sharks have very big eyes. They're very visual predators, and they're also big and powerful. Because tiger sharks have big eyes and they're visual predators, they are always looking at their prospective prey. And so if you are looking back at them, they know that you're looking at them. And so they tend to be a bit more cautious. And in looking back at them, you can have a better idea of what's happening. Here we see the guy who was attacked. His back is obviously turned to the shark. And according to the reports, he was shouting, he was panicking, he was splashing. That is not the behavior you want to display when you're being attacked by a shark. Turn, always face the shark. Look them in the eyes so that they know that you're looking. And once they know that you're looking back, they're going to be a bit more cautious, because the last thing a shark wants to do is to get its eyes gouged out or get damaged or hurt in any way. So just make sure that you're always looking at the shark. If you've already been bitten, it doesn't matter. Don't panic. Don't try to flee, because basically you're going to act like prey. You're going to act like a victim, and the shark is only going to intensify its attack. Look at the shark, face the shark always, and then slowly make your way back to shore. And if the shark comes in for a bite, just hit the shark on the nose, stick your hand out at the shark's nose. Be careful that the shark doesn't snap at your hand and bite you. Stick your hand out, touch the shark on the nose. Their noses tend to be very sensitive because they have so many nerve endings in the nose. And then what you can do is just push the shark away. Push the shark away. Now, I'm not saying that what I'm recommending is guaranteed to work. These are very powerful creatures. They're wild animals. But even if you lose a hand in the process, it's better than losing your life. So just do that. Stick your hand out, push the nose away, and just keep slowly making your way back to shore. And just let that shark know that you're seeing them. Here in this picture, like I said, I don't see any sunlight. So it might have been overcast conditions or early in the morning. I really don't know. I don't want to comment or speculate on that. I can only speak based on what I'm seeing in the picture right now. But unlike what we're seeing in the picture, never turn your back to a shark. Always keep your eyes on them and then slowly make your way back to shore. And if there's an attack, just try to reach for that nose and push the shark away. So that's it as far as the analysis of the pictures is concerned. As I said before, I don't have all the facts, but based on the little information that we have, you want to make sure that you never swim in murky, cloudy water, low light conditions. And if you find yourself being attacked by a shark or circled by a shark, just slowly make your way back to shore and do the best that you can to keep eye contact with that shark. And if the shark comes close, stick your hand out, push them away. If you have a spear gun or a stick or whatever, then you're better off using that to just nudge the shark and keep them away, as opposed to using your limbs. But if you have none of those objects, it's better to stick a hand out and try and touch their nose. Some people just suddenly stick their arms and their legs out to make themselves look bigger before the shark actually gets to them. And each time the shark starts circling to get close, they just make themselves bigger, and that tends to intimidate the sharks most times. But while you're doing that, each time the shark turns away, just slowly try and make your way back to shore. But this is a tragic event. And, my heart goes out to the family members of this young man who died. But, we want to learn from this and see if we can improve our chances if we should ever find ourselves in that situation.